I'm going to show you how to turn just 1,000 Rand per month into more than 10 million in 10 years' time by using this formula, the formula for riches. So if you're new to this channel, I'm Dreyer. I'm the founder of the Wealth Creators Method, where we help entrepreneurs and investors to create, to grow, to protect their wealth by applying the Wealth Creator strategy. And the Wealth Creator strategy is simply the intelligent use of limited resources to go from where you are to where you want to be in the shortest possible time with the least amount of risk. And the main thing here is risk. So what is the biggest mistake that people make when they invest? They do not follow this formula. It's that simple. They do not follow this formula. The moment that you understand this formula and the sequencing of this formula, you'll find that it's not too difficult to turn 1,000 into 10 million. What's the first part of the formula? I'm going to break it down so that we can understand it. The intent, that symbol that I'm referring there, the intent, that means that you need to set a goal. If you do not have a goal, it's like you're wasting your time, you're wasting your effort, you're wasting your energy, because it's like you haven't got a roadmap. You don't know where to go to. So we start with a goal, and that goal we call your freedom number. So I want 10 million, and I want it in 10 years' time. How much do I have today that I can invest? Let's say it's 1,000 Rand per month. So now I've set my intent. I want to turn my 1,000 Rand into 10 million in 10 years' time. The second part of that formula is your equal sign. Your equal sign is actually testing your belief systems. Why do I say it tests your belief system? Because if you do not believe that it is possible that you can do that, you're not going to do it. In other words, unless you've got the skill to make that goal a reality, you're not going to do anything in order to start and to gain the skills so that you can know how to follow this formula. And it's crucial that we understand that this is the missing link most of the time, is that we don't know how to do it. And therefore, we hope that someone else is going to help us to be able to do it. And therefore, you're not going to do it, as I'm going to show you now by going through the sequencing of the formula. If I want to break this whole formula down for you, it's simply my intent equals my focus. Because that I'm focusing on is what I'm going to get. So if you look at your life and you look at what has happened in the past, that you focus on, you are a perfect representation of the decisions that you've made regarding your financial affairs and your investments in the past. Those decisions start adding up to give you your current situation. So if I want to change my current situation, I first have to change my belief systems. Those things that I'm going to make decisions on, those things that influence me indirectly without me knowing it. In other words, on a subconscious level and consciously, I believe that it's difficult to make money. If I do have that belief system, I'm going to validate that belief system in the day-to-day life. And therefore, to me, it's going to become my reality. It means that it's going to be difficult. So unless I can pinpoint that belief systems that is going to keep me from achieving my goals, I cannot move forward. It is impossible. Yet people don't want to understand this, and they don't want to put the time and effort into understanding why they do the things that they do in the way that they do it. So my intent equals, and now what do I need to focus on? I need to focus on only 5 things. The first thing is to create a surplus. Without a surplus, this process cannot start. I can't take 0 to 10 million books like that. There's something that needs to happen before we can get that through time. That surplus, there are 2 ways that we can have a look at it. The first one is, let's say I've got a job or a business, and I've got 1,000 Rand surplus per month. In other words, I pay everything that I need to pay, and then after tax and everything, I'm sitting with 1,000 Rand. This then is the amount of money that I can invest in order to get to the 10 million. It's part of my intent. I've already mentioned that. So that's the easiest way to do it. But there's a second way. That surplus, we can break down and say that is your TEMS. Now, where and how do I get with TEMS? So it's time, which is a very limited resource that I've got. The second thing is the energy that I'm prepared to put into it, because no matter what you do, you always exchange energy. And if you're not prepared to do that, and if you haven't got that, this process can't start, because I can use my TEMS to convert my TEMS into rands, pounds, euro, and dollars, right? But the way that I do it is, first of all, my surplus in terms of time, the effort, my mindset that goes directly with the equal sign that I've mentioned. It goes directly with that. If I'm not prepared to change my mindset, I cannot get a different outcome. It's impossible. And that takes, unfortunately, time and energy. But then the last one is the skills or the gifts that I've got. How can I convert that? In other words, how do I convert my TEMS into a currency that is money, that we know as a rand and cents and dollars and pounds and stuff like that? To do this is a process. So there are two ways that we can do it. The first one is to get a job or a business, use the surplus, and we're on our way. The second one, now I need to convert my TEMS into money so that I can have the money in order to start the process. So that's the first thing that I'm going to focus on. Once I've got the surplus, now I need to focus on taking action. Second part. Now, there's two ways that I can take action. The first one is simply to say, but I'm going to give my money to someone else so that they make the money for me. Like I'm going to go to a broker or an advisor or a fund manager or someone like that. I say, I've got 1,000 rand. Please invest this money. As you can see, now suddenly I've got no control over what's going to happen with my money, but I can do that. The second way is to follow the wealth creator's strategy. I've mentioned that, the intelligent use of limited resources to go from where you are to where you want to be in the shortest possible time with the least amount of risk. But to do that, it means that I need to get the skills myself in order to manage my risk down and the growth, which I'm going to come to just now. But the wealth creator strategy means that I'm taking the responsibility to apply the skills, or if I do not know how to apply it, to learn the skills so that we can start the process. If I'm taking the wrong action, there is no ways that I'll ever get to my goal. It's crucial that we have to become wealth creators by taking the right action steps in order to make it. The third part is my growth versus the risk. Now, most people think that they understand it, but most people unfortunately do not understand it. Let's start with risk. Warren Buffett defines risk as when you do not understand what it is that you are doing. In other words, if I do not know what I'm doing, I'm taking a massive risk. And unfortunately, most people take their money, they give it to someone else. In other words, when I give my money that I've worked for to someone else, I'm taking all the risk. The problem is I cannot learn the skills to offset the risk, because whatever I'm doing has got no effect of what the broker or the fund manager is going to do and the outcome that they're going to get. In other words, I can't manage the risk and I can't control the risk if I'm not in control of that risk, of what is happening with my investment. And then on top of that, what's the growth that I'm going to get? In other words, we take the growth versus the risk that is going to give me the real return or the real growth over a period of time. So if I'm giving my money to someone else, it simply means that I'm not taking any control over my risk or in terms of the growth, and therefore I depend on whatever someone else is going to give me. And if that is not at least 65%, if that is what I want to get my 1,000 rand to 10 million, it's not going to work. Now, once we've got that, now we have to check this whole thing to see, but am I getting that I need to get? And this is where I need to do my homework before the time. In other words, I must say, I need 10 million. That's a goal. I need it in 10 years' time. That's the time frame. And I've got 1,000 rand. How hard must this money work? Say, for example, it's 65%, more or less. It means that if I'm not getting a result based on this that I'm busy doing by doing it myself or by giving my money to someone else, I will not get therefore to the 10 million. Straightforward. Okay. So the responsibility I need to take in order to measure the results. If I do not measure the results, I cannot manage myself and the process of making money. The fifth point is what we call the accelerator principle. And the accelerator principle is, if I know how to get 65%, what about instead of 10 years, make it 8 years or 7 years or 6 years or 5 years? The moment that I do that, my growth needs to go up on the 1,000 rand that I'm going to invest in. Can you see how it works? So I accelerate. In other words, I want to be in a position to be financially free quicker than the 10 years. And this is, by the way, exactly what happened to me when I started in 1987, this process by following the formula for riches. Exactly the same thing, because I've said that I want to be financially free in 10 years' time. On the amount of money that I could invest, my growth was 55%. That's my financial freedom growth rate. That was my target. But as soon as I discovered that I can apply this formula, I started to accelerate that formula. In other words, I started speeding up the formula, the growth, and for that reason, we were financially independent and free in just 7 years. And this is how that formula works. Straightforward, there's absolutely nothing to it on condition that you understand the formula. Now, I've given you the outline. If you want more information, if you are serious about this, then maybe in the comment section, tell me, honest, I'm serious. If there are enough people that are serious, I can maybe have a webinar or a masterclass where I dedicate, let's say, an hour or 2 hours to really dive deeper into this and to take you through the process so that you can see how to use this formula in order to turn your dreams and make them a reality. This, my friend, is a really, really powerful formula. So in the comment section, let me know if that is something that you would like. And also what you can do is maybe to join one of my 2-hour masterclasses like the 500K challenge. The 500K challenge masterclass is about where I'm actually busy turning 100 Rand. And within the first 2 years, we've turned it into more than 4 million by applying exactly the same formula, right? So tell me in the comment section if this is something that would interest you, or book the 500K masterclass. You'll find the link below, and then I'll see you then, or I'll see you in the next training session.